Happening right now at 10, sunny and clear skies. We're seeing across the state line today, but those conditions could change throughout the week. Meteorologist Kelsey Emery tracks all of that in her forecast. Plus, the house fire in Rockford this afternoon leaves residents without a home. What police say happened, and what new safety standards are coming to the state line, and even more on what inspired the cause.
From 13 WREX, your weather authority, this is 13 News at 10.
Well, good evening. I'm Samantha Soto, and today the state line saw a beautiful day with bright blue, sunny skies and plenty of sunshine. Your weather authority meteorologist Kelsey Emery is with us tonight. Kelsey, what will we be seeing for the rest of the week ahead?
Good evening, everyone. We'll be seeing very similar conditions to today throughout the rest of the week until right about Wednesday. But as for right now, we have those temperatures in the low to mid 20s, 26 degrees in Freeport, 23 in Rockford, and 28 in Monroe with very clear skies. Those temperatures are still settling down into the upper teens and some 20s mixing in as well. Temperatures in Mount Morris, 22 degrees, 25 in Dixon, and 25 degrees in Sterling. Mix the colder air and with the sunshine we got and the snowpack on the ground, there's some chances for some patchy fog tonight, so do be careful and drive safe for the rest of tonight and into tomorrow morning as well. So just give yourself plenty of time for tomorrow morning, but as soon as that sunshine breaks for tomorrow, we have plentiful sunshine and temperatures into the low 20s for tomorrow morning. I'll have a full look at your forecast and what you can expect coming up in just a little bit. Sam, back over to you.
And new at 10, 3 people are without a home after a fire this afternoon. Rockford Fire Department says were called to Crosby Street just after 3 o'clock, where they found some smoke coming out of a house. Firefighters quickly put out the fire and were assisted by the Red Cross to help the resident out of the household. No injuries were reported, and the fire was caused accidentally, and the damage is estimated at about $25,000. And tonight, Roscoe police are asking for your help in a search for the 2 suspects after an in-home invasion last night. Roscoe police say officers were called to the incident in the 6100 block of Elevator Road just before 9 o'clock last night. Authorities say 2 suspects went into the home and assaulted the person inside, then stole items from the home and fled. One of the suspects is described by police as a 40-year-old white male, around 6 foot tall, wearing blue jeans, a brown jacket, and face coverings. No description of the second suspect is available. Roscoe police tells 13 WREX that the homeowner's injuries were treated by the fire department at the home. And an Illinois couple died in an apparent ice fishing accident just after being found from a farm pond by the sheriff's deputy. According to police, the couple died last night at a hospital in Burlington, Iowa. Police say they found them in a farm pond near Durham, Illinois, after receiving a call that 2 people were in the water. A deputy pulled the couple from the pond minutes after EMS arrived at the scene, and their deaths remain under investigation. Over in Chicago, the number of people seeking shelter at O'Hare International Airport is up as thousands of homeless people seek shelter from the cold inside the airport. Airport employees say they have noticed people sleeping on heater vents, using the terminal to dry their clothes, and trashing airport bathrooms, and the numbers are increasing every year. Haymarket encountered 618 new homeless people at O'Hare in 2022, up 53% from the year before. The city is now hoping the $60 million in federal funding to fight homelessness will help. The money announced Thursday will go toward expanding placement services. And all month long, we're celebrating Black History Month, and so are many in the Rockford community. 13 WREX's Destin Howard shows us a new display the Ethnic Heritage Museum has put up highlighting baseball legends.
Sam, the Ethnic Heritage Museum is taking a swing at honoring some baseball legends during Black History Month with a new exhibit opening today. I went there today and learned more about those athletes who were instrumental during the Civil Rights Movement. Take a look.
We have a duty to let the younger people know about baseball and the intertwine of baseball and the Civil Rights Movement.
In celebration of Black History Month, Rockford's Ethnic Heritage Museum has opened a new exhibit highlighting Black baseball players and some local greats like Robert Smokey Whitfield.
It was Robert Smokey Whitfield, who played here in Rockford back in the 1930s. He played for Rockford Central, went on to play for the University of Oregon.
K. Patrick Yarborough, collector of many of the artifacts on display, says each item tells its own story, not only the ones of the players who carried them, but the adversity they faced.
I think the items reflect not only the players on the field, but their activities off the field. Especially Jackie Robinson being involved in the military and his difficulties that he had and his persistent qualities of being a person who represented not only baseball but an entire race of people.
From Jackie Robinson to Hank Aaron, each of these athletes on these walls played a role not only in changing the game of baseball, but also fighting for civil rights across the United States.
The sports aspect of it kind of mirrors society as at the time. Like I say, Whitfield started in the 1880s, and he was on an integrated league. Then when Jim Crow came around, it became segregated, and then with Jackie Robinson, it became integrated again.
As the public continues to visit the exhibit, Yarborough hopes people come out of the experience with new wisdom about Black history in baseball.
Because these players who were involved in the Negro Leagues were part of that movement before the 60s. And it's very important to recognize their accomplishments on and off the field of play.
The exhibit will be on display at the Rockford Ethnic Heritage Museum until April 30th. The museum is open every Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. Sam, back over to you.
All right, a fascinating story and new at 10. More history is being made as Governor J.B. Pritzker announced Rodney Boyd as the highest ranking African American officer in Illinois National Guard history. During the ceremony today, Pritzker said, quote, "This promotion speaks to the progress the Illinois National Guard has made, ensuring historically underrepresented communities are fairly represented." End quote. General Boyd grew up on Chicago's South Side and has been a lifelong learner. He holds a degree in criminology from NIU and 2 master's degrees, one in education and strategic studies from the U.S. Army War College. And new tonight, crews worked to set up a fence around the U.S. Capitol today ahead of President Joe Biden's State of the Union address. Capitol Police and Secret Service agents recommended the installation of a fence around the White House as a safety precaution. Fencing has been installed several times in the area since the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol, including for the 2022 State of the Union address. This year's address will take place this Tuesday at 8 p.m. A newly formed state task force will soon start looking at safety standards for warehouses in Illinois. This comes in response to the December 2021 Amazon collapse that killed 6 people. Holden Kerwitchy has more.
December 10th, 2021 is a day that Carla and Lynn Cope will never forget.
I remember us going down there and seeing all the rescue vehicles.
Their son Clay and 5 of his co-workers lost their lives when an EF3 tornado struck the warehouse they were working in.
That was always one of my greatest fears.
They said that they had shelters, but they had no training to even know where to go. That night apparently was nothing but chaos.
After the collapse, OSHA issued a hazard alert letter to Amazon, but said the company's emergency procedures met minimal federal safety guidelines.
They met the minimum standards and people lost their lives, and I don't believe the minimums are good enough. If people lose their lives, that's not realistic.
With building codes set to expire in 2025, Illinois recently created a warehouse safety task force to review those policies. And after retiring from warehouse work, Lynn Cope believes he knows where they should start.
Having more places for the people to go, in a safe place. That's what I'd like to see, someplace. And they can be, multi-use places where you go to find shelter.
It can be the lunchroom, as long as it's fortified.
While the state of Illinois has set a deadline for the task force to come up with any recommendations, it's January 1st of 2025. And the Copes believe if the state is serious about safety, something needs to happen sooner.
Those tornadoes come through here all the time. 2 years is just a task force. To completion, this could be 5 years from now. How many more times is this going to happen before they say, you know what, it's worth it for us to invest a small amount into our employees to make sure that this doesn't happen again?
And still to come, a Rockford week-long event comes to an end tomorrow. How you can still enter to win a cash prize. Plus, the drawing for the 5th largest Powerball jackpot. Just how much is up for grabs?
And sunshine and warmer weather continue into the week ahead. I'll show you just how warm we get coming up next.